I come once again to speak of the dilemmas that humanity faces at this time. There are many in the world who are distraught, are depressed and lost, cannot see their way out of these conditions and the overall condition of the earth plane that is dark and difficult. Yet, there are solutions to these problems, solutions that I have shared many times as I have spoken through this instrument and through other instruments and with my ministry upon the earth plane. But humanity has continued to abandon the possibility of a clear and powerful relationship with their Creator. Rather, there is a fierce streak of independence, a desire to be separate from God within many individuals today. They prefer to rely upon their mental facilities and capacities to solve issues and challenges that present themselves in your cultures, and in the world, and individual lives. You are taught to be independent from the beginning of your life. You are taught that you have great power and ability, that the individual may choose to do whatever they wish. Indeed, in many respects, this is true, that they are able to choose and to be as they desire to be. Though often, the expression of being in your world is a reflection of those messages, those things implanted within the mind that are accepted and taken on as truth and expressed in such a way that the personality is then influenced heavily by these messages. Rarely is the message of love reinforced and well established in the individual. Instead, it is a message that they must express themselves in such a way as to be productive and successful in a materialistic society. They look for reinforcement and reward as they take on this edict and express themselves in accordance to it. For many, the rewards are great in the material sense, certainly, in your culture and the Western ways of being. In the world, there is great material reward available for those who apply themselves. Of course, there are always those who do not align themselves nor do they fit into this perspective and do not feel a valued part of the culture in which you live. There are many who are lost into this sense of failure and lack of acceptance in your world. They do not feel loved. But are they any different from those who are successful, who are materially successful in your world? The difference is that with all the material accomplishments and the reinforcement that is given with successful behavior and outcomes, then they are able to hide from that deep sense of being unloved, where those who wander the world, strangers in a strange land so to speak, they are more consciously aware of this lack within them. Many of them do themselves great harm with addictions and ways of being in the world which contradict a light-filled and healthy way of living. So, they are judged by those who have the material accomplishments in their lives and who feel that these individuals are wasting their lives. Their inability to conform to the common perceptions are judged and rejected by the majority who are a part of this condition. So much of life is harsh in your world. Though you have accomplished great things in your medical aspects and you have great knowledge about how to be in a way that brings physical health and well-being. Yet, you forget, many forget, that it is the health and well-being of the spirit and the true self, the soul, that has the power to truly manifest well-being within the entire individual. If the attitude is such that each aspect of life is broken down into segments, boxed into ideas and perspectives, and seen from this unintegrated perspective, then one may be successful in a way that indicates well-being and vitality, and yet in other ways, there is no true well-being or vitality. As for humanity to come to understand that the integration of their entire being will bring what they desire, will truly bring success to their lives, will truly open up many avenues and ways of expressing one's self in the world that will be in harmony with God's laws of creation, in harmony with the world itself, but with this segmented view of the world and the mind's insistence on certain attitudes and perspectives, which have been implanted within it, there is little chance that a holistic view of life may be accomplished. Although for many who have walked this road, there come opportunities for them to change their perspective. Often, this comes with trauma or something that jars the individual from their well-born routines and perspectives. Thus, they have an opportunity to see themselves and assess their lives from an altered perspective, a shift of consciousness. But often in these cases, the shift is temporary and the perspectives that may come with this shift is temporary. It is easier and more comfortable for the individual to lapse back into their well-worn patterns and ways of life. They have not seen the great gift that has been given. Though this gift may come with some tragedy or incident that is difficult to face, still, God uses these doors, openings to shift the consciousness of the individual. As each individual has with them a guardian spirit, who is there to assist them on their life's journey, they too are involved with this shifting of perspectives. They are to help the individual come to realize some lesson, some meaning that might come with this life's experience. Yet, the common way in which the individual deals with difficult times and shifts in consciousness is to bury themselves within whatever distraction or way that will bring relief from their pain and their fear. This, of course, serves to numb the individual from truly becoming engaged within the deeper parts of themselves. This is a great problem within your societies. Rather than becoming awakened and more in tune with life, true life, the life that God has given, they tend to ameliorate and numb the pain that may come with this shift of consciousness. So, the vast majority of humanity continues to walk the path of least resistance and is asleep to the great potentials that they carry within them. How can God bring to them the opportunity to look, to choose to look, to be aware that there are greater things in life than what they perceive and know of in a conscious way? There is great effort made with each individual upon this planet to assist them in this awakening, to help them to come to see in a deeper way what is meant to be in a life. Yet, humanity continues to walk upon the surface of their consciousness, this shallow expression of life that is filled with material accomplishments, success in the eyes of their fellow human beings. Yet, within is deep longing and yearning for the soul to be awakened, for the deeper parts of oneself to come to the fore and to be expressed in life. The great fear is of losing what has been gained in the material sense, in the eyes of others, in their well-being and sense of success in their lives. This fear runs deep. With this fear comes great suspicion for those things that are challenging and different from the common perspective. Few are able to overcome this fear and overcome the suspicion of that which is different and may lead one down a road that is not commonly followed. So, humanity is gripped in fear, fear of change, fear of the unknown, fear of that which is new and different and challenging. A great weakness grips the world, a weakness that is continually covered over by the mental noise and activities that come with modern life. Yet, humanity, every individual, has a sense of the imbalance and need for harmony in the world. This sense is a very dull inclination within the individual, but it is there. It exists, for the soul knows and has wisdom that the mind cannot possibly bring into consciousness with its own mental deductions. There is a deeper wisdom within the soul, and a deeper knowing. This is where what many call their gut feelings come from. This is where that deeper sense of what is right and what is wrong originates. This is where deeper longings and more subtle longings of the soul seek to be expressed within the consciousness of man. Yet, the conscious and mindful fears that come block effectively these things until something happens that puts the mind off balance and cracks open the possibility of the soul expressing itself into their consciousness. This is why God has a great plan for the salvation of humanity, a plan that will crack open the consciousness of man and bring them to a place where they must choose and must come to a reconciliation of their deeper knowledge, their deeper selves than that which is on the surface and on the mind. God is giving each individual a great gift in this regard, a gift that shall help to awaken many, many souls, a gift that is essential at this time for the continuation of humanity's existence upon this world. God will always ensure that His creations will flourish and survive if that is part of His plan and intention for life. His plan is for the continuation of humanity, His most precious children, His highest of creations to flourish upon this world in such a way that harmony is a part of this and ensured. Beloved souls, you are human. You have these elements of resistance and biases within you. You have fears and you have prejudices and judgments, all things that reflect humanity, things that have grown and flourished over millennia as humanity has chosen from the very beginning to walk this path of life without any direct assistance from God, to be independent, strong, and willful in the world, believing that God has given them the world to manipulate and exploit and to utilize for their own benefit. To some degree, this is true, that the world has been given to humanity, for humanity has the gift of free will, so can express themselves in the ways in which reflect this free will. But the gift of free will comes at a great price, for that which is not in harmony with God's creation will bring its responses and effects upon the individual's life. Thus, is born great unhappiness and great pain in humanity because their choices are often not in harmony with God's creation and the laws of the universe. They suffer so because of this disharmony, and the innocent suffer along with those who are willfully engaged in contradicting God's laws. Thus, there is a sense in humanity of great disillusionment and that God has abandoned them and that God is responsible for these conditions and this pain that is almost universal upon the earth. Yet, they fail to understand the power of free will, a gift that can bring great benefits, great blessings to the individual, or great pain. Humanity must come to understand this, to appreciate the power that they hold, and the gift of life that is given with great potential, resplendent with great gifts and abilities. These things, when used in harmony with God's laws, can bring great happiness in the individual. If done so collectively, can bring great light to this world, a world now that is enshrouded with darkness because of the poor choices made, not only by those who inhabit the world at this time, but by the successive generations that have come before them and helped to create these conditions. These attitudes and conditions continue to thrive and proliferate in the world. There must come an end to this error and darkness and pain that is the human condition. Thus, God has implemented a great plan. His desire is that harmony may return to this earth, and that humanity may come to realize the truth of their existence, the power that they carry within them, the great gift of choice that has been given, the wonderment of the soul that exists within them, the power of the mind to understand the mechanics and material nature that is a part of your world. So many gifts have been given. So much is a part of each individual. Yet, often these things are squandered and ignored through ignorance and willfulness. This is the great price that is being paid by the proliferation of fear, fear of change, fear of truth, fear of truly understanding and knowing oneself, for within many is a great chasm, a great emptiness that is the result of the imbalance within, the soul ignored and unnurtured. The true needs within the individual put aside so that the benefits of materialism and social acceptance are acknowledged and vital within the individual. This brings great sadness to we in the celestial kingdom, who are alive and live within our souls, allowing our minds to be integrated into our souls to such a great degree that how we see the world and how we perceive our existence within it, is very different indeed from how your perceptions function. Beloved souls, you are in great need of shifting within your consciousness, of going beyond these superficial and immature perspectives that lack true spirituality and wisdom, that lack love, kindness, and a great strength and faith that grows with a soul awakened with divine love. Yet, there are those upon the earth who through whatever means, have come to see this and to challenge the established order so that they are freed from the error and disharmony that is so common in your world. I know this is not an easy task. It was not easy for me when I walked the world because the established order is powerful, is strong, and is resistant to your message and toward those who do not live a life that is in sync with the values and perspectives that is part of the human condition. Yet, those of you who walk the divine path and pray for this great gift of divine love are upheld and uplifted by God and we of the celestial kingdom. We carry a light that is beneficial for you, and we envelop you in this light. God has His hand firmly upon you. You are precious to us, to God, and in many ways, to the world, for you represent that great change that must come. Though you too have your feet in both worlds, that of the material and that of the spiritual, but you are striving toward a complete integration of truth, understanding that will come as you grow in divine love, your soul is awakened in divine love, your consciousness shifting and accepting and absorbing that consciousness that comes with a soul awakened. You are the hope for the world, beloveds. All those who are challenging the established order bring hope to the world. How you do this, how this is expressed is of great importance. You cannot bring aggression, anger and judgment to the table when you are working in the world, moving in the world as God's instruments. Love does not reflect these things. Love must reflect harmony, grace, patience, kindness, generosity, love for your individual brothers and sisters, no matter what condition they carry, no matter what great error they express, who they are in the world. Your great challenge and test are to walk in the world as a channel of love, to express yourself in a way that is guided, in a way that you allow God to work through you. In this way, you will help neutralize the darkness and bring the truth closer to humanity. For those who reject you, I suggest you send them love. Say a silent prayer for their well-being, for it is God who will guide them toward light. This is inevitable that they will find light in some time in the future, and you will have acted as an example, an emissary of that light for that individual to observe. At some time, they will remember your encounter. At some time, they will come to appreciate who you are and the light that you carry. Humility ensures that you do not insist upon another, that another may change before your eyes or adopt the truth that you carry. This has never been the way of God. This is the way of man, to insist upon certain edicts, religious dogma, ideas, and perspectives that the individual must carry in order to be a part of whatever group or society that they wish to join. This has been the great downfall of man, to insist upon the individual's compliance, that their free will and their unique nature is not taken into account. Thus, there is suppression and dominance and need to control and have power over the individual. In some respects, considering the nature of your world, having order within it is important for the functioning of society, and respecting that order in ways that comply with your sense of harmony and well-being is necessary. A saying which I shared when I walked the earth is, "Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and render unto God what is God's." This perspective continues to have its power. Although, one must use wisdom in expressing and living one's life in this way, for sometimes in the world, you are forced to contradict the laws of God. I would not suggest that you do so if you are confronted with this choice. There is always a way to overcome and to step aside from these dark choices. With guidance and perception, this may be accomplished. You must use the faculties of your soul integrated with the wisdom of your mind to find solutions in these particular conditions. There are times when these solutions are not possible. In extreme conditions, there is the possibility of being incarcerated, even death. Thus, a great choice must be made. That cannot be made by anyone but yourself. The world will continue to try and control humanity in ways and means that are not acceptable. Wars continue to be fought. Inequities and injustices continue to thrive. Pain continues to flourish. This is not the world of God but the world of man. Yet, man is often oblivious to these things, nor do they feel like they can change the outcomes or expressions these aspects of life. Many people feel impotent and without any true power to bring about what they know is a righteous outcome in the world. But for you beloved souls, you who know God and pray to God, may you continue to ask God to provide solutions to these dilemmas, to provide the ways and means for the world to change for the better toward greater light, greater joy. I urge you beloved souls, to have faith in God's intentions and plan for the salvation of humanity, faith in your own unique way that you may be a part of that plan and be an active part, not through the mind's judgment and assessment of all the evils and difficulties of the world, but through the actions of love, your embracing of the lost souls, your example of light in the world. You may see this as being weak and ineffectual, but in the way of the soul and the deeper consciousness of man, it is powerful, and will in time reach their consciousness. God's actions also seem subtle and unrecognized by humanity. Yet, it is powerful. They are powerful and will bring a great shift in consciousness to humanity. As the world shifts and your reality shifts within it, so with the rumblings and shakings of the world, the crack will be established for the true wisdom of the soul to rise up into the consciousness of man. Then, the great doors of opportunity, of great change will be opened. It is our fervent hope that you will be ready and you will be able to move in this circumstance of great upheaval. Beloved souls, walk in the truth. Live the truth as best you can with each day and each breath. Know that you are greatly loved, that we have deep love and appreciation for the efforts that you make toward light and truth, that someday soon the wondrous gifts of your soul will emerge in all their glory, all their light, and make a deep impact upon the world. You will see, beloveds. You will see how your journey and your efforts will bear much fruit and bring great rewards. May you be blessed in the Father's love, its inflowing, and constant and powerful within you so that you may emerge as the great and wondrous soul that you are meant to be, that you may truly be His children in harmony, in grace, working toward greater light and greater harmony. God bless you, beloveds. I am your brother and friend Jesus, Master of the celestial heavens. I come to you with great love, concern, and caring for each and every one of you beloved souls. Know that I am close and I shall never leave. God shall never leave, for it is for you to come closer and closer to this great light of love and truth. You will truly come to know God through your souls and be in alignment with His great soul. God bless you, beloveds. God bless you. My love is with you.